Well, today, Saturday, being a nice day, we're going to attempt to change the wheel bearings on this Dodge Stratus. And with us today is Aaron Choate, Jr. He is the technician on this project, and we will follow him as he progresses through these stages. Now, what you see is this is the new wheel bearing assembly, and as you can see, it's pretty straightforward piece of equipment, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. So as you see, we already have the wheel removed, and we're going to remove the brake calipers in order to pull. What are we going to pull?
Calipers is two big bolts.
Two big bolts on the calipers. Okay.
A little bit of lube.
Some lubrication just to make things go a little easier. Yep. Okay, we have the bolts out of the calipers, and we're going to remove the brake calipers very carefully, taking care not to injure the brake lines because they can be very fragile. So what we're going to do is we're going to find a way to support the brake caliper up to the frame so it doesn't put any excessive strain on the brake hose. Okay, so what we're going to do is support that brake caliper with a piece of wire, secure it to the frame so to relieve any strain there might be as we drop that. Okay, now the caliper is free. Now we're going to remove the, what are we removing?
Rotor.
Removing the rotor, which looks like it's just going to slip off from there, nice and easy. Okay, and there we have the rotor off, and we're exposing the axle and the bearings,
yep.
Axles and bearings. Okay, so now we just proceed from there. Well, we finally got back in action here. We had to take a little break because we found out we did not have the right socket for undoing those bolts. So we ended up having to go back to Napa and getting an eTorx socket. And it looks like it's like a 14 millimeter. But anyway, as you can see, it has the Torx on the inside. And so that was the delay in this project, because unforeseen, but it was relatively cheap. It was only about $2.50, and we'll keep that for in case we have to do the other side at some point in time. So anyway, it's an investment. It'll probably just sit in the toolbox forever and collect dust. But anyway, we're back in action now.
You have to have the right equipment.
Yeah, right equipment does the job. So that Torx socket was the answer for that problem.
External Torx.
External Torx. So we can continue on with this project. Well, that's what that Torx head bolt looks like, and that's why we needed that special Torx adapter to get the thing out of there. Now, why they do that, I don't know, but some say it's a conspiracy. But there you have it. Alright, so now we've got those Torx bolts out that's holding it in. Now we're going to remove the main bolt that holds the axle in. So we'll proceed with that. That's a pretty good sized bolt there, huh? Not?
Yeah, I gotta use this 1.25 inch.
It's an 1.25 inch socket.
With a breaker bar. Seems to work pretty good.
Breaker bar, yep. For the extra effort that it takes to get that thing off from there. Seems like there's quite a few threads on there. Now we'll see what it's going to take to pull that assembly out.
Probably a couple of taps.
Probably a good healthy whack with a good hammer. A good framing hammer will do the trick, wouldn't it?
Wow, I'm going to find out.
Now I don't recall seeing this in the manual, but it's obviously what has to be done. Okay, so we got the nut off and we've been tunking on it a little bit. So we finally decided we might have to go to a bigger hammer. So we decided to get a bigger hammer and use a little bit more force on that. But it finally did come loose. So there you see it. We have it off and looks like it's all ready to reinstall the new bearing assembly. So far so good. That was successful, and we'll keep on moving on here. There we go. Well, there we have the new hub assembly on there, bearing assembly, all nice and shiny and new. Put the bolts back together and you can see how easy it was. As easy as 1, 2, 3. As long as you've got a first-class mechanic there working on it and a well set up shop. So there you have it. So we'll throw that thing back together and then we'll have a update of it completed. Okay, now we're putting the nut back on that holds the bearing assembly on, and we'll get that on and get that torque down. What are the torque specifications on that one?
Probably about 150 pounds.
About 150 pounds. Now you pretty much determine that pretty much from your own experience, right?
Yeah, I stand on it, put some pressure on it.
Yeah, okay.
Make sure it's pretty snug.
Right. So when you stand on it, like approximately how much do you weigh?
I weigh more than enough to apply
Okay.
the
No, I was just wondering, you know, for
specified
the
torque.
for the technician, you know, that may be interested.
Yeah. Some guys have to dance up and down, and some guys just have to
Tap on it. Yeah.
tap their leg on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, that's good to know. Okay, so that's pretty much torque to that specification, I would say right now. Would you say?
That's a rough
Yeah.
thing to get it back together. When it's on the ground, we'll go ahead and put some real pressure on it.
Okay.
Make sure it's really cinched up good.
That sounds fair. That sounds fair. Right. Now he's releasing the wire, which was previously holding the brake mechanism up out of the way so it won't get hurt. That would be the calipers, I think, in the mechanics terms. So that will fit right on nicely. And the brakes appear to be really nice on that. Looks like new hubs at some time recently. New rotors, I mean. Well, it's starting to look like a wheel again. Calipers are all back on, all tightened up.